Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today we're finally gonna turn the first bowl in the new workshop. This piece of cherry I've been hanging on for the last 5 years. I turned it from a wet log and dried it carefully. And now we're gonna make a beautiful finished bowl out of it. So to get started, we have to turn the outside of the bowl round, and we're gonna do that by just pressing it between the faceplate and the tailstock. Now this bowl turned rather round while drying, so this is legible. If it wasn't that round, we would have to find another method. So now next up, we will have to sharpen our tools. I'm putting on some safety glasses. Grab my big bowl gouge. We go over to the sharpening station. For sharpening my bowl gouges, I've made myself a jig where I put the tool in, clamp it, set it to the right length. Now we put it in the jig here, spin up the grinder, and sharpen. Now with turning the outside of the bowl, I try to take off the least amount of wood as possible to keep the bowl as big as possible, while still getting a nice surface finish and a pleasing form of the outside. And so you see me kind of nibbling away carefully. At first the bowl is quite out of round, which makes it a bit difficult to get a proper chip. But after she's turned round a bit, it gets easier and easier. As you can see, I still have to work a bit on my technique here because I get sprayed in the face with all the shavings, but at least I get to know how this piece of cherry tastes. All right. That should be good enough for the outside. Now we only have to turn on a little foot that is actually running true, because as you can see, this foot wobbles quite a bit, for our dovetail jaws to hold it to turn the inside. Now we're gonna change our setup from the faceplate and the tailstock to holding the bowl in the chuck. Just gonna loosen up the chuck, push it all the way back, and get rid of my tool rest. And you can maybe see here my struggles with not having the upper body stability to really hang on to things. I kind of always have to lean onto something to be able to lift stuff up and up. Now off comes the faceplate. All right, and then we just stick that in here. And so we just close this up, nice and tight. There we go. So with turning the inside, I usually start by cleaning up the rim first. And after I've done that, I can really start to hog out some material to get the bowl down to thickness. I'm usually aiming for about 1–1.5 centimeters of wall thickness, and I try to get it as even to the outside curve as I can. I usually leave the bottom a bit thicker than that, just because I still have to do a couple of cleanup cuts on the underside after I'm done roughing out the inside. After that, I take a couple of fine finishing cuts, so I do minimize on sanding, because everybody knows sanding is no good fun. Now something I will do quite often is just run my hand through the bowl kind of quickly, and then you can feel if it's even or if there's like some high spots that you will still have to turn in. Matter of fact, I have a bit of a high spot here in the rim. I'm just going to take out very carefully. I want to sand the bowl from the inside, and to do that I usually use just a handheld drill with Velcro backed soft pad on it, and I'm just gonna stick those sanding discs on it and use them inside the bowl while the lathe is spinning and the drill is spinning. Alright, now the inside is done. Looks pretty neat. Now we just gotta finish the outside. Same thing over again. To do that, we're gonna take off the chuck and put on my vacuum system. Okay, to be able to turn the outside of the bowl, I have put on my vacuum chuck. Inside of there's a vacuum that holds the bowl on really strongly. You can release the vacuum here. It just sucks the bowl onto my fixture there. And we have to get it to run kind of true. So I will just bump it around a little bit. Alright, that's looking good. And then I can turn away the foot and sand the outside. When turning away the foot, I have to make sure to do all the heavy cuts towards the spindle, so I don't lift the bowl up from the vacuum. Also have to make sure to not go too deep, because if I cut a hole in the bowl, it's going to come flying off the lathe and hit me straight into the face. Okay, I do have to sand the outside now, and I'm going to do that again with a drill. Something I almost always do is come back to the bottom and put 2 rings on it to give it a bit of a decorative element. Alright, there she is, all done and ready for watering. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray some water all over the bowl to raise the grain that has been kind of polished after sanding. Because if I don't do that and you get the bowl wet for the first time, it will become rough, and I don't want to have that. So I will have it become rough now, sand it smooth, and then it will stay smooth. Okay, about a beer later, the bowl is dry again, and we're gonna sand it once again, now up to 800 grit, polish it a bit, and then we gonna give it a coat of oil. And if you clean out your brushes after use, they won't be as stiff as mine, but since I'm lazy, I just wait for it to become more flexible again. Which usually takes about half a bowl, and then it's just as new. And then we do the outside. I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. Come back, wipe it dry. And then she can dry overnight, and tomorrow we're gonna laser mark the bottom. So we left the bowl to dry overnight, and the only thing we need to do is to put our logo on it. To do that, we've put together this whole contraption here, which consists of a laser engraving machine, just a standard old laptop, and of course our bowl. And all I'm gonna do is click engrave now. Well, unfortunately somebody forgot to film an outro here, but I've attached a couple of stills of the bowl for you to enjoy how it looks finished. I hope you did like that video and had a great time. If you did so, please feel free to share, comment and like the video, and please subscribe. Have a good time and see you soon.